Chris Bates, agentmarketing.com. Today we're going to talk about marketing makeover. Today's all about niche branding, finding your niche, branding yourself, really helping you stand out with your different niches. So you don't have to have just one. I used to have 4, for instance, and so you can have different niches that you market to. Well, we here are offering, we have a free marketing makeover, so it's really neat. It really helps speak to your niche. First, what we'll do is we'll talk about what, kind of niches you might want to think about for those of you that don't have one, and then we'll talk about the free makeover. But just so you know, our free marketing makeover, it's really simple. You get 4 things made over every time you call in for the free graphics. So you get the free personal website made over, free property website made over to your look. Then we have a sign writer that we make over full color, and a biz prop card that has your card on one side and the properties on the other. We put those in your till. We give you a free sign writer, a free box of business card. So when you call in for your makeover the very first time, we're going to make over all of your property collateral as well to match your niche. So we'll talk about that again at the end on how to get it. Just so for those of you, so you know, you can call our hotline if you already know what your niche is. You may not need to listen to this. You can just call the hotline. So if you already know your look, your niche, your brand, your colors, your all that, just call the hotline. It's 949-328-5000. When you call, tell them you want a marketing makeover, and our graphics team will then contact you and work with you. So when our customer service answers, say, I want a marketing makeover, and what they'll do is they'll open a graphics ticket. Then you'll be contacted by our graphics team to go ahead and do your makeover. Before you make that call, though, let's make sure that you know exactly what you want. So let's talk about what that means. Creating your brand. To create a brand, you kind of have to know where you're focusing. And to be more successful, niche marketing really is helpful because it helps you actually hone in where you're marketing. It helps you put all of your marketing dollars, your energy, your branding, so on and so forth. What does that look like? Well, for some of you, perhaps you're a coastal specialist or a mountain specialist or a vacation specialist. There's all sorts of ways to create your brand. But if you don't think it's important, know that how people see you matters. And would you agree that people are making up their own assumptions about you, whether or not it's true? They are. So people are always trying to put us into boxes. They're trying to make assumptions about us. So what we're saying is that to have a more successful business, you tell them how to see you. So you tell them what you specialize in. You tell them what your brand is, because how people see you does matter, and they're going to judge you anyways. You might as well be in control of it. So the big question I ask with your brand is, what is your story? What is your story? Are you were you in the military? Because that's a perfect niche. You could actually specialize in men and women in uniform. Do you specialize perhaps in some other kind of niche? If we talk about what is your story, it's basically what is something that's authentic to you that will help you focus where people will actually follow you. So some examples of niches really start with neighborhoods, don't they? The one thing I want a lot of you say, I specialize in buyers. Well, that's not really a niche, right? Because buyers are too generic. So I want you to think about, I specialize perhaps in handicap buyers, because then you could actually specialize in retrofitting homes perhaps, with roll-in showers and wider doorways and single level and so on and so forth. So what is your actual niche is different than just having a generic, I work with buyers or I work with sellers. So what I suggest, if you don't know of one, is start with a neighborhood or start with a region. For instance, as I said earlier, coastal expert or mountain expert or anything like that. Neighborhood expert's a great one, and as we all know, those agents that consistently geographic farm tend to do higher volume. And I would posit that the higher volume isn't necessarily from the farm, it's from the fact that they chose a focus. So by choosing a focus, it's going to help you actually be more successful. Some other ideas: new homes, luxury, for those of you that it's authentic. Don't just choose luxury or first-time buyers or something like that unless it's authentic to you. Condos could be a niche, right? And then that might parlay into a first-time buyer niche. Investment properties is a good one. Do you play a sport? Perhaps if you're into golf, or many of you specialize in equestrian, which is a great one. You could actually target the people that love what you love. I even know one realtor that specializes in people that love cats. So all his branding is around cats. I know another agent that just did a makeover here that specializes, he's known for his dog, because he and his dog are obviously always together, and it promotes the trust and loyalty brand. So do you specialize in relocation? Obviously, there's a lot of things. If you belong to a charity or a church, there's so many different things that you can focus on. Are you in a, do you have, for instance, are you in a maker's club? Do you like to invent things and make things? The more you focus, then people in that niche will start telling their friends about you, because they'll say, oh, you want to call Chris. He specializes in what we believe in. He's an inventor just like us. And then what happens is you have authenticity and trust right out of the gates. You'll actually do more deals. So when you call in, it's real simple. Just make sure you know what your look is. And your niche can be as simple as yourself. Many of you picked that, is that I want to brand myself as a specialist, and I want that to be simple. While that's a little generic, it's certainly acceptable. It's just that you know what look you want, what color you want, all that kind of stuff. So to reiterate, we customize your personal website in our system. So inside of our system, our graphics team is going to take and they're going to customize a personal website to your look. That's color, graphics, so on and so forth. Okay, and here's some examples of personal websites we just made over for realtors like you. So here's some other examples of different ones. So you can have different things based on what your focus is. Okay, we're also going to do a free property website makeover. So the property website likewise will match the niche branding of your personal website. And here's some examples of some property websites we just made over. Okay, and then the sign writer. After you make over your sign writer, just know that in this makeover, you're going to get a free sign writer. Okay, we're going to send one to you so you can experience, you know, how powerful it is to have a free, not free, but how powerful it is to have a full color sign writer, because it really helps you stand out, helps you get a lot of leads. If you want more leads, the sign writers are the way to go. So super powerful. And then here's some examples of some ones we just did in the makeovers. And we're going to give you a free box of biz prop cards. These are huge. Give it stack to your sellers, because what's so neat is your sellers will go to church, they'll go to work, they'll go around town, and they'll say, my house for sale, my house for sale, and they'll promote you. So we're going to hear some examples of some biz prop cards makeovers. So marketing makeover, super powerful. It's free in our system. Simply pick your niche, pick your brand, and as soon as you have some kind of an idea, then don't worry about it. Call our hotline. It's 949-328-5000, 949-328-5000, and our staff will get you hooked up. Our graphics team will work with you, and we'll make you look good. So when people actually connect with your brand, it'll help you to attract more people like that and help you do more deals. Chris Bates, agentmarketing.com.